But I thought one thing in this time that we're in, which, just thinking about how things may unfold, we're in the beginning of October, and how people are talking about the health part of it, the virus, is that we may be in for a long, difficult winter. And so I thought, you know what? Now is the time to prepare for that. Let's not just let that unfold and be overwhelmed by it and all of that, but really look ahead and look at being creative, as these two situations that I described were, being creative in how we can approach things in a superconscious way, in a way of inner freedom, in a way of working with that divine, in a way that leads to victory. One is that I think we need to all, in our own unique ways, work on developing willpower. And again, these are things that we all, for the most part, know. But it's good to bring them up and to remember them dynamically, because in this coming time, these tools to develop willpower may come in very useful. The first one, say yes to life. Don't block things, don't be negative, just say yes to life. Look at any situation that comes and figure out in your own unique way, your own creative, unique way, how you can say yes and not to block energy. Always, second point, always look for the solutions. This again is the superconscious that is looking for ways to make this possible. We know maybe in a situation that it's like, oh, this is without hope. I always remember in Tolkien's trilogy, there is the point in the trilogy, not too long into it, where they're traveling and they go into these underground mines and they lose their leader, the Gandalf, a person that's going to really make it all happen for them on this pilgrimage that they have. And they lose him. It appears that he's died. And they come out the other side, and one of them says, well, now there's no hope. And then another person who becomes their second leader says, well, then we must go on without hope. So that actually is a solution. We're going to go on anyway, we'll just go on without hope. That's okay. So that kind of thing. Also, looking for the goodness in people. Someone said about Swami Kriyananda that he saw the potential in all of us and made it possible for us to believe in ourselves. And that's really kind of how it happens. It works on us in that, in seeing the goodness in people, then we have that consciousness and that goodness flowing through us out to them, but it also lifts them up, because then they feel, oh, well, he believes in me or she believes in me, and maybe I can do whatever needs to happen. And so seeing the goodness in people, and also to any challenge that we face. Number 4, saying, I can. Just say it, I can, of course. It's not always that the situations that we find ourselves in are ideal or suited to us, but it may just be something that needs to happen at that time. And so it's a way for us to test our will and to really engage, like as I said, and these are things that Swami Kriyananda wrote in one of the longer readings on this particular topic that we're addressing today. Say yes to life, look always for solutions, look for goodness in people, and say I can to challenges. And then he said also, set yourself tasks to accomplish. And those tasks, in my case, were given to me. And I accepted them. I did all the other parts, and accepted them. Set yourself tasks to accomplish, make them small at first, and then make them bigger and bigger, so that you can test your will, and not only test your will, but really develop and grow your will. Because without that will growing, and each of us, again, it's a challenge in a way that I'm saying to all of us, but each of us needs to do this in our own way. But we need to know the elements that are important to going in the right direction. And so test your will. Take on things that you don't feel necessarily qualified for, or you feel like, ooh, that's a little big for me, and see that you can do it. He said, test your will and go with that, whatever you've taken on, until you finish it. Go with it until you finish it. And then the last thing is that there is a way to really focus at the point between the eyebrows, and to say there in meditation, or just at any time that you feel you need to develop your will, and you'll say, my will is one with thy will. United to thine, my will can move mountains. My will is one with thy will. United to thine, my will can move mountains. And that, he said, if you concentrate very deeply at the point between the eyebrows and continue that thought, that also will help in developing willpower.